Start with the reminders. We have problem set to due on September 28th before class. So do pay attention to the due time. And we will have the first writing assignment due on the September 30th at 11:50 p.m. And later, after I wrap up the slides, I will invite Kevin to talk about the writing activities, okay? Okay, so let's jump into today's topic, which is Introduction to Dynamic Process Control. As I mentioned in the video lectures, we will use a series of examples to, sorry. Am I still sharing? Oh my God. I think I clicked twice the touchpad. But anyways, some example of process problems are fluid heating, liquid level and tank level, mixing without reactions, and bioreactors. What are not covered in this syllabus is electrical circuits and mechanical motion and robotics. So in the fluid heating example, a typical fluid heating problem, we have cold fluid enters and a heater heating the fluid tank. Cold fluid is heated and the flow out of the tank, assume the flow out of the tank is what we are interested in knowing the temperature. And we assume the tank is well mixed. In the typical liquid level and the flow problem, we assume non-interacting between tanks. Liquid enters tank 1 and enters tank 2. The flow from tanks 1 and 2 QT depends on the liquid levels in tanks Z1T and Z2T, and the flow resistance R1 and R2. Again, this will be one type of question that we work on in our later lectures. So you will see we discussed this during the video lectures, and also you will work on some questions in the class activity and the problem sets, and of course in the exam. But right now, it doesn't matter if you have a little idea about what's going on with such a specific question, a problem. And this is another example, which is about interacting tanks. Again, we need to solve the flow problem in such an example question. And this is another example of mixing problem. Liquid with a concentration X enters the tank and assume the tank is well mixed. Then we will be interested in the concentration that leaves the tank if X changes. This is a bioreactor problem that is more complex, with a regulator QM from a pneumatic valve due to feedback, and the tanks are interacting, and the reaction rates are temperature dependent. So this is a more complete and complex, complete and complex process that leads to this general closed loop process control block diagram, where we introduced each of these elements in the video lectures. Hopefully you still remember those. And later on, we will have a small quiz question for you to work on related to one of these elements. In dynamic process control, we measure output characteristics such as flow, fluid temperature, fluid level, etc. We adjust the input to maintain process output within an acceptable tolerance. And the inputs and disturbances will change with time, and which means they are function of T. And dynamic analysis is usually required, and the time-dependent problems lead to differential equations, which in this course can be solved by simplified approach, which is ordinary differential equations, given some ideal assumptions such as tank is well mixed or a laminar flow for flow rate problems. And also in this lecture, we introduced some common input functions such as step change and ramp and a cyclical such as sinusoidal and impulse signals as input functions. And we revisited the fluid heating example by solving it through the whole procedure using a Laplace transform. And next week, we will finish the last portion of solving such a problem using Laplace transform, which is the inverse Laplace transform step. So before we jump into class activities, I would like to invite Kevin to talk a little bit about the writing assignment and the writing activities in general involved in this course. Kevin.
Thank you, C. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Yanni. I am the person leading the writing intensive portion of BBE4023 this fall. The first writing assignment is due next week, Wednesday, September 30th. And you will submit your file, your text file through the Canvas in module for week 4, which C has just published a little bit ago, so you can see it now. The first submission is only about 2 pages long, but you may need to do some thinking to come up with a process to automate, to write about, and then look up some market information for it. As I say in some of the videos, writing is hard work to do it well, and so I want to give you a little heads up with it. This course, as you already know, uses videos to present the lecture materials, and I'm doing the same thing with the writing instructions associated with this class. There is a writing intensive module in BBE 4023 Canvas site. It is below the course packet module, and this module has several written materials. I've got 3 grading rubrics up there. I have a videos page up there, and then we have materials from Katie Wilson, our librarian. Some of you may remember Katie from the Capstone Design last spring. She works with that class also. One of the written items in that section is my attempt to explain why we have you do what we have you do in this course for the writing requirements. You may be going, why do they make us write a proposal? And so that's sort of a bit of an explanation for that. There's also a link to the University of Minnesota Center for Writing and the ASAB Guide for Authors. We use that as our style guide for this.
Kevin, Kevin,
yes?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Do you want to share this screen on the Canvas site?
I think they can find it, or you can put it up there if you want.
Yeah, I think I can put, you can keep talking. I will share it.
Okay.
I'll find it. Yeah.
So the videos I'm putting on a what they call a page, and so it's listed there, and you can go through that. Right now there's 5 videos listing there. So there's C's got the page there. So the writing materials in the top portion, and then there's the 3 grading rubrics for the major portions of the writing. If you go down, push it up a little higher, C. So there's the page.
Go up or down?
Keep going, keep going. Nope, the other way. There you go, there you go. So there's again, the videos, there's 5 of them posted there in this writing intensive videos They've got the title there. Some of the titles in there will have a WI in there, and those are the ones specific to the assignment. So those are the ones you want to make sure if you want to catch some more details relative to the assignments. There's a couple of other ones that are going to be coming up there that are just things that I think are important as for writing relative to for you as young professional engineers. And then you can see the section that Katie has posted there, and what we have there for you. So let me know if you have any questions about the writing assignments. You're putting together a proposal to Great Innovations Incorporated for a new automated process. You'll write it in sections. I'll give you feedback on 2 of them. We'll talk more when we get closer to the second submission that you make. That one's a peer-reviewed process, and we'll talk about that more as we get close to it. My scheduled Zoom hours are right after this class today, Mondays from about 1:40 to 2:30. And the Zoom link is on the Canvas homepage. And so if you've got questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll turn it back to C, and you can get back to your groups and work on the class activity.
Or just the office hour for Kevin is